The truth isn't always unearthed from the ground. Sometimes, the truth needs to be sought underwater. On the evening of June 18, 2023, a multinational and multi-agency team, led by the U.S. Coast Guard and Canadian Coast Guard, began a search for the truth about the fate of OceanGate's Titan submersible. OceanGate's Titan submersible started its descent on the morning of Sunday, June 18, 2023. The ship that launches and communicates with the Titan, the Polar Prince, last heard from the Titan at 11:47 a.m. Due to previous communication issues, the crew aboard the Polar Prince waited for the Titan to return from its tour of the Titanic wreckage. When it didn't resurface at 6:10 p.m., authorities were notified at 6:35 p.m. The search for the Titan and the 5 men on board began. The first and only significant sound that was heard from the Titan submersible after it lost contact with the Polar Prince wasn't the banging sounds heard during the search. The only significant sound detected was the implosion of the Titan itself on Sunday. This implosion was likely detected by the U.S. Navy's Integrated Undersea Surveillance System. This is a system that utilizes hydrophones and other equipment in various ways to monitor the oceans for adversarial submarines and other activity. It also provides a way to collect other information and research the ocean. When the Titan imploded, a large underwater sound was created. The hydrophones of the Integrated Undersea Surveillance System would have detected this implosion by receiving a large, unexpected acoustic signal. By acoustic signal, I mean sound wave. The Navy's hydrophones are always listening for sounds coming from the environment around them, so they wouldn't have missed the acoustic signal from the Titan. Like an explosion, implosions are loud. Because the Navy was well aware of this large acoustic signal from the implosion on Sunday, it's likely that they already knew there had been catastrophic failure of the Titan. There was probably no intention of announcing other banging noises coming from the search and rescue phase. The banging noises reported during the search and rescue phase were initially detected by a Canadian Lockheed CP-140 Aurora, based on the Lockheed P-3 Orion aircraft, with electronic systems of the Lockheed S-3 Viking. The CP-140 is Canada's only strategic intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance aircraft. Besides its anti-submarine capabilities, it's invaluable for search and rescue missions. The Lockheed CP-140 aircraft is designed to drop sonobuoys into the water and receive information gathered from these deployed hydrophones. The aircraft itself isn't able to pick up the sounds directly. It drops hydrophones into the water and receives information back from them. This search and rescue aircraft system was utilized in the search for the missing Malaysian flight MH370. There are many sources of sound in the ocean. There probably wasn't sound coming from any industry or other sources on land because they were so far out into the ocean. However, they were diving to the wreck of the Titanic, which is a large pile of metal and other debris that moves and sways within the ocean's deep-sea current. There is also possible marine life, but the main source of erroneous noise during the search for the Titan would have been other search and rescue vessels. Considering the banging noises happened at regular intervals, it would have been determined that this isn't a natural noise and must be man-made. This is not the first time a search and rescue vessel has created erroneous noise during a deep-sea search. The USS Thresher suffered a catastrophic implosion during deep dive testing on April 10, 1963. 129 Navy personnel perished in the disaster. During the search for the Thresher, acoustic signals and metal banging was detected and originally believed to be coming from the Thresher. However, it was determined that they were coming from equipment on search vessels. Other search and rescue vessels continued to create acoustic signals during the search, but they were known to be not sourced from the Thresher at the time. So, it seems to be pretty clear that the last sound heard from the Titan was the catastrophic implosion likely detected by the Navy's integrated undersea surveillance system. There was no banging coming from the Titan. This was most likely the search and rescue vessels that the Canadian Lockheed CP-140 Aurora originally detected. If any solace can be had from this tragedy's search and rescue, it is knowing that the men on board didn't suffer. They never would have seen the implosion coming. They didn't linger for days, banging on the walls of the submersible. The search and rescuers didn't have to panic with the men in any attempt to save them before their air ran out. By the time the banging noises were heard, they had already perished. Many lessons will be learned from the true fate of the Titan submersible. But as for the 5 men on board, remember them for the amazing individuals they were, and not the tragedy that took them.